Skoom. All right.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Big Skoom,
Tyler John the Don.
and this is.
Skoom Speech.
Welcome back. Welcome back. How you doing, Tyler? You having a good day?
Yup, big chillin'.
Cool. So I know we both got questions. Is it right if I go first? Take turns.
Yeah, go forth. We'll go first. We'll go back and forth.
Nice. I try to get out of the personal realm, not so much personal questions and more like kind of philosophical. Skoom speech, baby. So, question one: can something have value without having any utility? So, obviously, by utility, I mean like practical type use for that person. So can you value something without having any utility? That's the question. Or it having any utility.
Can you value something that's valueless?
I mean, I posed the question. You and bag it any way you want. I did like that clapback though. What makes your head go there? What makes you? Because I'd probably agree, but like, why does it automatically become valueless? Right? Because it doesn't help, right? Or
Well, yeah, if it's not bringing you value, then that's what it would be, right? It would, in other words, it would be just considered valueless. I don't know. I mean, it has to mean something to you, right? So there's personal values, like collectible items, right? And then someone else could say, "Oh, that's nothing," right? So I don't know. People tell me that with storing cigars. Like, no, I'm trying to save this one for a long time. And they're like, you're just burning up your money, $40 stogies and stuff, you know.
so you think the answer might be no?
I think my first answer would be no. You can't value something that you don't personally have value in, right? It's valueless to you.
Yeah.
But my second answer would be it's super personal. It depends on what this item is, object might be. We put value on things, right? Like you put value on money because of our society and the way it is. Not you personally, but I'm just saying in general, right? Something that everybody puts value in, something that literally has monetary value. So you put value to it, everybody wants it. That makes it something like that, right? Like it's basic and generic, right? Kind of a necessity on the lines of a necessity, right? But then you find value in collection, or I find value in collectibles. So other people might not. So I think my second answer would just be it's super personal too.
Well, here's where I'll argue, because right, I mean, or I should say argue, but here's where I combat, right? Because this is what we do, right? We like to freaking,
Yeah, break it.
yeah, we like to exactly, and that's how we both get smarter together. So, like beauty, right? Something's beautiful, we deem it valuable, even though it may not mean anything to us, right? Like, I don't know, I'm just thinking of a random person, like you just randomly, or whatever, actually, watching in a magazine, right? You don't know that person, they can't offer you anything, but you're like, oh man, that has value. It's a beautiful thing, or not even people, a freaking beautiful flower, and from a photo from China.
Yep, yep,
So,
yep. Cherry
that,
blossom. I love it.
yeah, I'd like cherry blossoms too. So that kind
Yeah.
of combats it right there a little bit, right?
Yeah, I agree. So, but that's us putting personal gain or not gain, but personal value into it. So,
Not really, though.
there's a
That's
yes
why.
and a no to that because not
Well,
everybody likes cherry blossoms, bro.
I mean, I guess that was a good point. I didn't think you were going to take it there because that's why I brought up beauty because, like,
Yeah,
but I guess you're right. We all don't find the same things beautiful. So I guess that's
yeah.
kind of a good point.
I mean, I will agree though. It's been pretty much everyone I've ever talked to. Nature is perfect creation. Like you can't fudge up nature, kind of thing. So
I don't know. Is nature a perfect creation? I mean,
yeah,
isn't
but
it?
it's created by the man, dude. The one and
Yeah, but
only.
isn't because there's like two lines of philosophy arguments against that, and it's like one was like I can't remember actually. I think one's might have been a Hobbes guy, but one was like, oh, like what is it? It's like nature's perfect and society makes it. No, yeah, nature's perfect and society corrupts it. Then the opposite guy was like, nature's crazy and deathly and wants to kill us, and society makes it livable. So they like Yeah, so there's like two
That's
philosophy thoughts of
interesting.
that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going. I would maybe take the second one. Like, is nature perfect, Tyler? It's always trying to kill us, right? Tornadoes, freaking all this crap.
I don't know. I'm more on the positive, optimistic side of the philosophy with it, so can't look at me too much over here. I'm passive, bro.
So,
That's my perspective.
and so does that mean then that means that society corrupts it then?
Yep, exactly.
You take
Yep,
that stance?
that's mine.
I guess that's probably like that's probably the more loving out of those two stances you could take, I would think.
Yeah, because if you think about it, greed only exists within humans. Like, I don't know. I don't see anything collecting abundance of and protecting and hoarding, right? Like I don't know, animals only kill what they know they're gonna eat, and then they don't eat again until they have to kill, or vice versa, right? Same thing, but opposite.
I mean, I'll play devil advocate here, and we just talked about this whenever it was yesterday. The reason why animals don't have greed in that sense is because they don't have the concept of time, and they don't have the concept of sacrificing for the future. An animal can't be doing something and then think, "Oh man, I'd much rather be hanging out doing something else." Essentially, I'd much rather be on a beach hanging out.
Yeah.
So since they have no like time and greed are directly linked. Like you can only have greed. You can only be greedy if you have the concept of time and stuff.
I guess that makes sense too.
It's true, yeah. So that's why animals can't have greed. Like if they knew about tomorrow and next month and stuff, then they could be like have the option to be greedy. But it's like you said,
Yeah.
we have to eat now. All we have is now.
Yep.
They actually say, because Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot, they actually say a wolf could eat like 13 pounds of meat. That's where a wolf down comes from. They can like eat, I believe it's like 13 pounds, which is crazy.
It sounds crazy. First question: is immortality really a reward, or is it the greatest mistake we could make? Question mark.
Is immortality a reward? All right. It's a good one. Is it a reward? I mean, my first reaction is yes. I think it's a reward. I'd love to hear if I had to take your guess, knowing you, you would take the opposite stance that it's the greatest tragedy or whatever we could. So why would you choose that one? Is that the one you would choose, right?
No way. I think immortality is great, and I think that that should be something that should be more discussed, or at least the idea of it. Because what it does to your brain, anyway, if you do live on a day-to-day basis, and then think about immortality, then you're living on a day-to-day basis for an even longer time, right? So I don't know. That's why I don't think that time is a good thing either. Putting everything into constricted little blocks, and within an hour and a half, this will be over, and then 30 minutes, I'll do this. I don't like that so much personally. No, I think immortality is great. I think everything to do with immortality is great too. But whenever I have that conversation with religious people, like biblically followers, yeah, they say the opposite. They're like, no way, like paradise is only after you die and all this, but I don't know. Fudge that immortality.
I mean, can there? Because I guess it would be horrible because like the body would just start dying out after
Yeah,
100 years or so.
decomposing on you while you're still alive, immortal in it.
So I guess it would be pretty tragic. But we're talking about time, and what's so bad about time? Isn't time's
Yeah,
beautiful, right?
no, I don't think time's a good thing at all. I think that you follow time by the sun being up and the sun going down, and that's about it. I don't like the whole idea of you clock in at this time and you do everything I say on this time frame. Go to bed at a certain time. It's like, no, I don't
I
like
don't know
that.
why, but for some reason I just had like this pretty abstract thought.
Okay, yeah, give it to me because I don't like time at all, dude. I really don't. I really don't. It doesn't
I
matter.
In the Adam and Eve story, obviously, like the one way people talk about it is how like just Adam and Eve are very like naive and like ignorant, right?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
And in some sense, in that, well, and then obviously, right, they didn't know about time and stuff like that as well. So, in some sense, in that, it's almost like, is there any free will in that? Right? Was there any free will in that?
And okay, was there free will, and what was the main question? I missed that part.
And being in this state of however Adam and Eve were like talked about in the Bible, like the state of just, naive, like children, weren't aware of danger, weren't aware of evil, weren't aware of death, weren't aware of time, weren't aware of work, weren't aware of anything. They were just naive little airhead type things.
Just living in a vast field of just trees and fruits and probably fresh water source, things like that, right?
Is there any free will in that?
I would think the most free will, yeah. There's so much free will that your mind's not even starting to think outside of the box because there's no box. There is no wake up at this time and go to this place at this day. Dude, that's so fudged. That's just a way to control people. Like, oh, you're going to be late and don't be late. And no matter if you're late to school or work or whatever it is, you're a black sheep. I don't know.
Respectfully, Tyler, I think you're so wrong. And here, let's hopefully go this together, and feel free to disagree. Obviously, you don't have to take my word for it, but
probably
here's
will.
Here's why I think you're so wrong. And
Why?
you have to stay on track with me a little bit.
I will.
So here's at least why there's no free will in that life, the Adam and Eve life.
Let me know.
Because, and you hear a lot about when people try to talk about why there's no God. It's silly. I know people do that, right? It's crazy. But usually one of the reasons why they do that is they'll be like, oh, if there was a God, why would they allow all this suffering? Why would they allow all this death? Why would they allow, all this murder? And really not knowing that is the best thing God gave us was free will. Now, which you probably hopefully would agree, because what kind of God would make us, the opposite of having free will? And then, but how that all ties into that is because if we don't have any knowledge of evil, like living in paradise in our Garden of Eden, we don't even have the option to choose to do anything wrong. So isn't that the definition of free will? Like, we have to follow the good with no choice, no other choice, no other idea of anything else. I mean, do you get where I'm getting with that, right?
Yeah, and I did mention that on my behalf as well.
Not looking at the time yet. We'll get to the time thing, but just in the free will part and that.
Right. Well, what I was agreeing with was there would be no way to think outside of the box because there is no society standards or social anything like this. None of that has been created or formed at that point in time. Right.
I heard you say that, but what you did is you doubled down and used that to double down and say that's why it's there's none of that, and that's the most freest thing ever.
Yeah, because you're not identifying one as being one thing at all being good or bad, right? Because there's no society norms or anything like that.
I mean, I feel like you're almost changing the goalposts, because if we talk about Adam and Eve type analogy, they had no idea of what wrong even was.
I agree.
But I feel like what you just did then was trying to say, like, they were almost the same thing, or like there was no good and there was no bad. There was just whatever that is. But I don't think that's the Adam and Eve story. The Adam and Eve story is there was just good in their brains and evil didn't even exist yet.
Right, which is why they were able to be deceived by a talking snake.
So if there's just good, and let's say that never happened, right? And they just had good.
Yes.
All they can do is just go towards, if there's two roads, all they can do is just go to the good path. That's it.
I agree.
That's not free will. They can't take a left. All they can do is go right.
Oh, okay.
That's not free will, is it?
That wouldn't be free will?
That's my argument. Now, if we bring it to time.
Okay.
If we bring it to time now. I mean, time just, affords more free will, because you look at that time in like a vacuum, as in like if it's like the stuff you named, if it's real, if it's that, then it gets sucked up by the time reference, like what time means, because times like can mean a bunch of stuff. But another thing it means, the most important thing it means is like sacrifice. And then like what does sacrifice mean? Because sacrifice gets thrown out. I'm going to drop a hidden gem. I'm going to drop the biggest, smartest thing I've ever said to you ever.
All right, bet. Go for it. I'm listening.
The reason why sacrifice is so talked about so much is because the main thing is that since we have in our brains, we can establish different times in it. We have to sacrifice. We have to sacrifice like our own thoughts, which is linked to time.
Okay.
Like you can't do good without sacrifice, because since we have free will and I can think wrong thoughts, I have to sacrifice that negative thought, which needs time. Like, oh yeah, I'll do it later, or I'll do it never. I'll lie to Tyler right now, or I won't. Look, that all needs time to do all that. That needs time, and then I can sacrifice it. Say, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose this instead. All that needs time, buddy. All of it.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. All of that needs a time to exist, and it can't all exist at once. Like a point that you had brought up to me before about this kind of topic. Like it can't all happen at once, going on crazy. Like, because then it also takes time to process, and if that process is healing or creating something new, everything takes a process, and that's time. So yeah, I think you got me.
I mean, just because I know I rambled, just to wrap it up, we can move on, but free will, which is huge, sacrifice, which is equally as huge, because if I can't sacrifice my bad negative thoughts, there couldn't be a society. So all those things are metaphysically huge. Mm-hmm. All of those things need time.
That's facts too.
So
yeah. All of that, is immortality a good thing or the biggest damnation for a human being, besides the fact of your body probably decorroding and dying on the outside of you?
I mean, yeah, I would agree. Without the body breaking down, I think it'd be great, right?
Yeah, because then it would allow you to have more time to create sacrifices for society. So immortality would be the best way to go. But all then again, yeah, right. Then you could talk about the negative side effect of that too. People that know that they can't be cooked. How much could they do? Sheesh. Let me find my glasses real quick.
Well, I think it's my turn. But
you
go. Yeah. I didn't even think about that part of immortality, as in like
isn't that just
immortality, but you could still be murdered or something.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, you still could be?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, technically a vampire could be, and there's just a specific like way to go through it. But that's the only immortal being besides an angel or demon that I don't know. That's just where my mind went.
Got you. All right. My next question. What distinguishes an explanation from a story?
What? Say that again. What extinguishes?
What distinguishes between an explanation and a story? Can I explain something to you without telling you a story, basically?
Oh, okay. Yeah, people do it all the time. It doesn't land as hard. People do it to me all the time, at least. So like,
yeah,
I'm gonna explain to you how this works, but I'm not gonna tell you why I figured this out. Which is why I think I'm a good teacher, because I give a story. Dude, I fudged this up real bad one time, like 2 months ago. So make sure you don't do this, dude. You need to have the story. I think that's what humans link to the story. That's why we have the art of communication. You need to have a story.
Oh, so the answer is no, then.
Can you distinguish what was the thing without
an explanation from a story? Let's see. Yeah, from a story. So are they different or are they same? Is explaining something, is it a story or is it something different?
It should be a story, in my opinion. If you're gonna explain me something, like how to operate something or make something work the way it's supposed to, or me work the way I'm supposed to, yeah, I want a story. Like, it just helps. I want to hear your life experience with it.
I mean, I think even another deeper question is it even possible to explain something that's without using a story? Is that even
You
possible?
can, but it won't be retained the way you wished it was. I
That's
promise.
where I want to hear. I want to hear you qualify that. Qualify that thought.
Why? That's just
Because I
the
don't
truth.
believe it.
The truth is always there, buddy. That makes sense.
If you
I I
if you
could
want,
explain something, but with explaining it, wouldn't a story just come about it naturally anyway? Or else I don't believe you. Or else I believe you haven't dealt with this situation before. If you can't tell me like your story, explain to me why this happens because of this. If I'm going to court and I go to you and I say, explain to me what do you think is going to happen with a speeding ticket, and you tell me, and I say, oh, why do you think that's going to happen? Like, oh, dude, you're gonna go in there with that speeding ticket and they're arresting you for sure, like 6 months minimum. But in reality, you go pay it and then get out of there. If you didn't give me a story, I definitely wouldn't believe it.
I want to.
Unless if it sounded like, okay, that makes sense. I wouldn't ask if you said, "Oh, Tyler, you take this and you go to the courthouse, you pay $65 and get that thing gone." Dude, I'd believe that because that makes sense. But if I brought you a speeding ticket and you said I was gonna go in the jam, I would be, nah, explain that. Why do you think that? And that's why I think no matter what it is, teaching me how to operate something, telling me how something's gonna go from beginning to end, whatever it might be, it needs to have a story to at least it should have a story to qualify it for if I'm gonna take your explanation for real or not. That's my opinion.
I got a tall task for you. I don't know if you're up for it.
Hmm?
I'm
Maybe
having
remember one a quarter line. What'd you say?
yeah, I'm having trouble reading you right now. You're throwing me curveballs and knuckleballs.
My bad. It's not on purpose, I promise.
I don't think something can be explained not using a story. But you
Yeah,
said
no, I don't
that
need
you think it could be, right? Didn't you say
no,
that?
well,
And if that's true, and that's
it
how you
could
feel,
be,
I want you to convince me.
but I really believe it has to have a story.
Well, what are you even saying it could be? I mean,
Well,
that is
yeah,
a
if you
small.
you know what? It could be if you're a really bad teacher. Like, no, kid, go over there and put that thing in the mailbox and put the red flap up. And then that's all they tell you to do. And then you're like, why am I
That's a
putting the red flap
story.
up? Dude, no. Why did I put up the red flap? If I have to leave and I have a why question, you failed. That's what I'm saying. A good
I
teacher
think.
is going to, no, they're going to give you a story behind it. You can't do this that way because that's going to happen. And you're going to either hurt
Hold
yourself,
on. I
someone
think.
else, or it's not done correctly. It has to have a story to why it goes that way.
I
Someone's
think.
got to mess it up one time or another. I'm going to learn from that mistake.
I think we're on different wavelengths here. How
Now,
do you describe a story?
a story is something that you tell me a moment where something happened from beginning to end. That's a story. I have a story right here. I cut my finger earlier today. I was opening the blinds and then the stick broke and I cut my finger because I tried to open them anyway. And yeah, I had to wrap it up. That's a story. I was bleeding everywhere.
I actually really like your definition. A start has a start, and having an end can even be debatable. But I use your words. Has a start, has an end, and then something happens in between, right?
A lesson. A lesson happens in between. Not just something. Not like I was walking to work one day and I got hit in the head with a marshmallow and then I ended my day. That doesn't make any sense. Like, who's gonna watch out for flying marshmallows, bro?
Interesting.
Oh,
Has to
no, it
have
has
a
to have a
lesson.
lesson. It has to have a lesson. That is a story with an explanation.
Is that fair though? I mean, that's a pretty high
It has to have a
standard.
lesson. Yeah, dude.
That's a pretty
If
high.
when I broke this stick, somebody told me, "Yo, T, definitely don't open that door still or those blinds because you're gonna cut your finger." I would have probably believed them. And if not, then I would have wrapped my finger up anyway because I cut my finger. Yeah.
Wow, I think
There's
this
a
one.
lesson, bro. There was a lesson there. I'm never opening the blinds like that ever again.
This is interesting. I think this might be one of the real main times I ever think that we've or that I've really actually disagreed with you. Have a lesson, huh? That's such a high standard to a story, isn't it, T?
I don't think so.
It's so.
I only read or follow stories that I feel like I learn something from, and the learning is a lesson.
What
I
if
don't
that's such a high standard, buddy? What if someone's telling you a story? They're absolutely trying their best, And what if it's you, for example, who can't find the story in it? I mean, you say, "Oh, that was a horrible story." I mean, that's
That's
pretty tough.
possible. No, I don't think I'd let it rip on him like that. Unless if it was really a bad story. But no, I'm super passive.
Interesting. Well,
Maybe
let's
I
go.
could think to myself, dude, there's been so many movies I've watched that I walked away and I was like, dude, there was no lesson in this movie. That movie sucked. But I'm not gonna go and tell the director that. I don't care.
Man, all right, I guess I see. Because what triggered this for me more recently is when you were like, "Oh, well," because I thought you were saying if it has a beginning and an end, and stuff happens in between. I like that, but you said it has to have a lesson. But when you were explaining, you used the example of like, "Oh, go over there and pick up that red hat or whatever" to the kid. Like, for example,
Sure.
as explaining something without a story. I was going to make the argument, well, isn't that a story still? It has a beginning and it has an end, and something happened in between it. Go get that hat and put it there. That's, to me, I thought that's a story, but for you, it's not, because, well, that still has a lesson in it, though. That's still a story, then, even your definition. There's the
Okay.
lesson.
That had a lesson? What was the lesson? Because maybe I'm just a bug and overlooked the lesson. Maybe
I mean, I know we're filling in a lot of our own fluff here, but in that sense, it's, hey, hats belong here.
okay.
Get it off the ground and put
That
it
is
in
not where
there.
it goes. Sure,
That-
I could agree with that. Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's-
not how we behave
Yeah.
or whatever, right? That's not the standard of this location. I feel it. That is a lesson.
I mean, I'm almost getting like, I don't know if I'm taking this personal now, but can you even speak without having a lesson in it?
You shouldn't.
Can you?
If so, well, yeah, you can. People do it all the time, dude. There's boggers everywhere. What the heck?
Dude,
You really gonna ask me that? Dude,
Dude,
you
this
know
is
we
like-
live in America in 2026?
guys,
Dude, I've heard some ridiculous just conversations. Like, who even talks about this? But
if you guys are thinking how me and Tyler think, Tyler holding him, at least what he's saying, holds himself at an unbelievable standard. I think there's a lesson in everything, dude. Every little word, every little thing. I mean, isn't there? But nah, I guess you there's not. All right, well, that's a hot take and a half. All right, you actually blew me away on that.
all right, my bad, dog.
Blew me away. So to wrap it up,
Yeah.
include explanations can be just that don't need a story. I could just explain something to someone and not be a story at all. That's possible. That's
I
just
don't
it,
think
right?
so. I don't think so. I don't
Oh.
think that at all. I think it has to have a story and it has to have a lesson in it. Because
Well, no, we're not defining story. We're defining explanation and separating the two.
no,
You do that. You do that in your own words.
I don't think you can.
Oh,
Because
you can't.
like I said, no, because an explanation could be just that, and it's you're not nobody's gonna retain it that well. Like, sure, at work people do it all the time. Like, oh, just do it this way, and not get an explanation and just go. And but if somebody comes up to them and asks them, hey, why are you doing that way? Oh, I don't know. I'm just doing it because I was told. It's like, well,
I don't know. It's like, should we get into a real, actual argument here, or should we just leave it for another time? Because, dude,
I really don't care. If
I don't
you're
think
if
that's
you're here to
right,
watch us
dude.
have a debate about this right now, drop a like.
dude, because here's why you're wrong. I think one, you can't. I don't think you can give an example of that actually happening. Like, not a real life example, but any example. Because I will make the argument, no matter what you say,
I
in this
think
context, it'll be a story.
I think a good teacher or
No. An example. Give an
Oh, my
example
bad.
of an
An example.
explanation that's not in the story.
you can't. You cannot.
That's my point.
That's also my point. Why you wouldn't retain the knowledge of it? I could tell you. Could I even tell you like you dude? You can't. You
No, but
cannot.
that's
I
not
can't
what you-
even tell you that I cut my finger without telling you the story because it's so ridiculous.
But that's not what you said, T. What you said at first and throughout was for what you first said is basically it can be done, but it's not a good way to teach. It's not good. It can be
Yeah,
done, but
not-
it's crap. That's what you said at first, which implies that it can be done. It would just be poor. And then throughout that, you said you were like, well, I would never listen to an explanation that wasn't in a story, which also
Mhm.
implies that it could be done still as well.
right.
And then you even gave an explanation by saying, or you gave an
Yeah,
example by saying, "Oh, you're like, oh, kid, go over there, move, get that hat, move it, blah blah blah." Like, not in a story, but which I would argue still is a story. Then you
Still
gave that
is-
explanation.
Yeah.
And then at some other point, you basically said just it can be done, but it's not optimal. It's
But no, I agree with you. And if your point was, ask your main question again, the one you wrote down, ask it again.
Yep. And don't worry, I'll edit this up. Don't even worry.
And the answer is no. You cannot give an explanation without giving a story. That's my answer.
All right. Then we do agree.
We agree. And
All right.
I did a terrible job at getting to why I agreed, but in the end, that's what I was trying to say, and I agree.
All right. Fair. I think it's going to be your turn next for the question.
Guys, I think it's good to debate your friends. This is why we always talk about mastering your emotions. Because fire. All right, so I'm gonna get back into some more points about the my first question: is immortality really a reward, or is it the greatest mistake we could make?
All right.
And I took a note here while I was listening to this. I took a lot of notes, and I don't think I'm gonna even share all of them here, but they're fire. But religion's created to help be a little more comfortable with death. So that's why, like, in this video, they were talking about why it would break our brains, kind of thing. And we understand that that's so natural. And we created religions just to be okay with that idea of, like, oh, it's going to be something positive when we pass and all of this, instead of just, oh man, where are all these people going, kind of thing, right? That's
All
crazy.
right.
That was a note that I took. What do you think about that? You got any thoughts on that?
I mean,
It was just a point, not a question, but I'll create it into a question.
I don't know. You knowing me, I'm going to disagree with that, right? Of course, I'm going to disagree with that. I don't believe that at all.
So you don't think religion was created just to be okay with the idea of death?
I don't think anyone who believes in religion should think that, because one, it automatically diminishes religion. That diminishes religion in some sense. It makes
Yeah.
it. It's like, doesn't it? Right?
Yeah, right. Like,
It
oh,
does.
we created just to soften the blow of what happens when we die. So natural. I don't know.
Yeah, it
That is a
diminishes
that
it.
is a good point. I wonder where they were when if this is what somebody thought or formulated to create all of that and what we know society is today, kind of thing, religion and stuff. I wonder what they were thinking, if that is true. But
This is 2 next ago.
I wonder where their minds were while they were creating this to create the society and religions that we know today, what they were thinking if they created religions just to help humans with the idea of death and the life after death scenario.
You know where that
their
comes
minds
from?
were. What?
It actually comes from Karl Marx, where obviously you've probably heard of Marxism.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the one who said stuff like that, and him and Freud used to call it like opiates for the masses, right? Opiates is like a painkiller.
Yeah, okay.
They call
Oh,
religion opiates of the masses.
that's interesting.
But Marx used to say that, and another thing Freud used to say was he was like basically saying like reason why we have religion or why we believe in God is because like we all like fetishize having like a father, like a heavenly father or some sort of father to protect us from like death and all this crap too.
That's super interesting.
But if you can't tell, all those statements are like against religion. Those guys were like anti-religions.
Yeah, right. I know. Sounds like it.
I think it's silly. I think it's a silly, stupid thing to think, because like if you aren't religion, then yeah, it probably sounds great. But if you are religious, then it's like, dude, you're just like I said, just diminishes like all your faith. Like what? No, it does way for more than just that. It's how to live. It's how to get what I want in life in a way that helps me and other people.
Yeah, boom. Yeah. Skoom.
Yeah, dude, religion's freaking does way more than that, buddy.
So since my last one wasn't a question, I'm going to change the topic and get off immortality. What are some characteristics that you look for in a leader or in yourself when in a leading position? And then that's the last question I have.
That's a really, really good question. You want to go first on that? I'm kind of curious what you have to say.
Oh, dude, yeah, I wrote all mine down. Dude, it was fire.
That's actually a really good question, man.
This website had me popping off. I was like, dude, I'm writing all of that down real quick. I'm writing down. All right, so I wrote down my 3 personal favorites. All right. Where did it go? All right. For me, my personal 3 favorite characteristics of a good leader, 3 that I personally look for and also try to reflect the most: emotional intelligence,
Buzzword.
mentorship, Mentorship is my second one.
Yeah.
And purposeful is my last one. And I have really good points why for each one that I chose too. So that's fine.
Do you have anything written for emotional intelligence?
Yeah, someone emotionally stable is something that stands out to me fast, especially when the kitchen gets hot, is what I wrote.
All right.
That's what I put down. Emotionally intelligent, yeah, they can stay stable no matter what.
I asked this question a while ago in one of our other Skoom speeches, but if someone just refuses to follow, does that automatically make them a leader, T?
I remember you asking me this too, and I remember back then I said no.
What do you think now?
They refuse to follow. Does that make them a leader? Yeah, I guess it would have to, because they're making their own road. You know what I'm saying? And boom, they're gonna lead somebody. Somebody's gonna follow, even if it's one person. Isn't that a follower?
Isn't it? It's so interesting how, and me and you are
That's
probably
why all
different.
we need is one fan. Drop a like.
We're probably different in this way. I'm pretty impressionable, so like, I won't say that I don't follow people easily, but I will definitely like respect someone pretty easily. You know, it's not hard for me to respect someone.
I feel you. Yep, I agree. Well, I don't know. You gotta have at least one of those three characteristics I just said for me to at least respect you. I guess it's the,
Yeah.
emotionally stable. I'll respect you, and that's something that stands out to me quickly. I've been around a lot of emotionally unstable people, so
Yeah.
I don't know. What about
They
you?
always,
Off the top of your head, can you pop off three things that stand out to you that makes a good leader, or do you want to answer that again later? Or
I mean,
it's just what you can.
if I'm being like super just like personal to me, like I would only want I don't want to have some I don't want to be a follower of a leader, but the only reason why I would is like if we had like mutual interest, right? We have to have mutual interest. That's one.
Okay.
They have to be, you know, extremely skilled, and they have to be like really positive.
Yep, I agree.
As long as they do that, but mutual interest really is it. Like if we have mutual interest, like yeah, I'm definitely down to hear what you have to say for sure. Like
Yeah.
you help me, you know, I can maybe help you or maybe not. You can help me. Yeah, let me hear what you got for sure.
All right, fire.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I can agree with that too. If you're emotionally stable, we would agree it means positive, right? You could remain positive or your consistent self through any situation. So, boom, I agree with you. Emotionally stable, usually positive,
Yeah.
and impressionable. That's always a good thing. Like, because we're humans. We all live on different vibrations. If you could find someone that's like that high but that steady vibration, that's the best people to be around. And I think that's why you and I are friends like all the time. Well,
Ah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, no fall off gang.
All right. One of my next questions. It's kind of similar to the other one I asked, but what makes a boundary real rather than just convenient?
Ooh, this is a good one. That's a fire question. What makes say that again? A boundary real?
Yep, rather than just convenient.
Can you explain a convenient boundary?
Our boundary, that's why I don't know the stance I take, but our boundary is convenient, right? Like, you know,
All
I mean,
boundaries are convenient? What the heck?
I kind of think so, right? I mean,
Dude, I'd be wishing I could just fly in a helicopter to work every day, man. The boundaries of the highway are freaking capped.
all right, so
No,
that'd be
boundaries aren't
convenient.
convenient at all.
Well,
Dude,
no, it'd be a convenience. Like when you brought up the helicopter,
dude, I'd be levitating to work like Chris Angel. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, it'd be convenient to skip all that traffic, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you weren't really abstract. I was just thinking more of like I don't know, for some reason I was gonna make up a pseudo one, like, oh Tyler, anytime after 1 p.m., don't call me because whatever, like that, those kind of boundaries, like interpersonal boundaries.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I didn't think about that at all. Nah, I don't ever have like, I don't know. I definitely don't think that way.
But I don't know, you did kind of make a case. I mean, because I did kind of stretch it a little bit, but so maybe you're right. Maybe boundaries can be real that aren't linked to conveniency.
Yeah, no, dude, I totally, and it's some BS, man. All the convenient, I mean, all of the you made me think about, dude, what is that called? I feel really selfish now after saying that because it's like, oh, I'm just inconvenienced all the time. I feel okay. I feel terrible. I said that. No, I didn't think about like, oh, don't contact me at certain times, kind of conveniences. I never really heard of that one. Boundaries and stuff like that. I mean, I
Well,
guess,
that's the
yeah,
first thing I thought of, right? Like,
dude. Maybe freaking as a little kid, I was told not to like make a phone call after 10 p.m. or something. But dude, that's crazy. Yeah, my brain definitely didn't go there at all. I was
I
thinking
don't know.
more
I
on
feel
a
like
daily basis, like lines at the pizza joint, you know?
I don't know. I feel like when people talk about boundaries, I feel like the first thing they think of is like to the opposite sex. Like when you're dating someone, you like lay out your guys' boundaries or whatever.
No, that's so crazy. That's what you thought? Dang, drop a comment below if you guys thought boundaries and then went relationship of any sort first. Let me know. And let me know if I'm crazy, mad, selfish, or something because I'm feeling terrible, man. I'm
Well,
sorry. All humans inconvenient me.
yeah, that is pretty crazy, actually.
That's what I'm
But
saying. I feel terrible now.
I was thinking when you have to implore boundaries on your life, like who is like the most likely you're gonna use that on? It's gonna be like someone you're in a relationship with,
Other
right?
people, not to drive as fast or something, or stay out of my way. Like, I don't know. It would definitely be to control other things, like usually a person or something, right? So
Out of convenience.
out of your convenience. Yeah, like I said, put me in the limo lane.
Heck yeah. All right, this next question, it's pretty wordy. Let's try to see how I could bag it. So the question is, and again, it's wordy: is complexity an inherent property of things, or a description of our limited ability to simplify them?
Holy smokes, you're getting way philosophical with that question. That's
I
we gotta
am. I
crack this
am.
part by part real quick. I need to know
All
what
right,
you mean.
let's break it apart.
Yeah, I need
So,
to freaking read it.
so is complexity an inherent property of things? So
Complexity. So explain the word complexity in this scenario you're trying to get after here, because
I'm trying to put into a real world example.
yeah.
I don't know why. How about it? I don't know. I went to a car engine because I know you like cars. So
Okay, so you went
basically,
to okay. Yeah,
so
man.
basically, is car engines, are they just super complex freaking things, or is it the person who's looking at the car engine who either has the capacity to understand it or doesn't? Are they just inherently freaking
Yeah.
super
Inherent
difficult?
I don't know about inherently. Like I don't know about inherently. Knowledge as far as that goes, like speaking a different language, right? Would that make me yeah, I mean, I don't know many other languages other than English, right? So
Yeah,
that complexity would be over my head if that's what you're trying to say. I feel like it's the understandable knowledge of the mechanic looking at the engine. My
it's
automatic answer was like while you were saying it, I was like, yes, it's however you were, whatever answer you're leaving. Is this a yes or no question? I don't even know how to answer this question. I feel like a bug, mad
it's
complex.
it's actually a really deep question because it like branches out to other stuff because it's like I mean it's almost the same thing like when I brought in beauty. It's like or it's really philosophical question because they're like, oh, does when a tree falls out in the middle of nowhere, does it make a sound?
Yes, it does.
It's basically that same kind of question wrapped up differently. It's like, are
Okay.
things genuinely complex,
Okay.
or is it just the person who's
Mhm.
experiencing it,
Mhm.
ability or not, to be able to understand that complexity?
It's
And now it's simple.
it's their ability, and no, I don't think that everything was created by man in the first place. So nothing's too complex at all. It's just your ability of looking at it differently. Excuse me. Coffee is blowing me up.
Another way why it's deep and philosophical is because it's like, all right, the same. Like, do things have value already inherently? Is this thing just valuable just
Oh,
because?
so this goes back to the first question.
Are things just valuable, or are we like impressing that value on it through our like
Oh, okay, fire.
interpretation?
Yeah, I like how you rewrapped that, but my answer's still the same on that one. It's the impression that you put on it. If it's difficult to work on, that's your personal opinion kind of thing, right? And then if something has value, that's again your personal opinion.
And it's like another branching question,
Okay.
but we know how you'll answer it now. Which I don't know. I could agree, could not. Are
Yes,
things
it's the
like
same. It's the same ship if you change all the pieces. I believe that.
well? No, I was gonna say, are things like relevant, like inherently relevant, or
Are they
Or
inherently relevant? Relevant to what? I mean, even relevance has to have its conversation.
oxygen?
Right? Huh?
Oxygen.
Oh, okay. So you're saying everything on the planet has oxygen? I could also make the argument that everything on the planet has water too. H2O.
So it's interesting now because
It's only one molecule off from oxygen and water. So
well, it's interesting now because there's this guy who talks about this a lot, and it's like, and he makes the argument for both. Is oxygen inherently relevant? Most of us would say yes, it is, because if you want to keep living, oxygen is going to be really relevant to you.
right, breathing life into something is a real statement. Yeah.
Actually, salient. It's actually that word we talked about, like when we're moving. It would be salient. Oxygen is super salient. Salient.
Okay.
But if you don't want to live, and you don't care about living,
oxygen is irrelevant.
Oxygen's irrelevant. So that's like kind of both. It's like,
Well, yeah, but then doesn't that just depend on your intention? And then that goes back to our conversation we had last week about perspective. You said, "Oh, it's just a cop out word kind of thing." It's like, well, no. I mean, somebody's perspective might be, "I don't want to have to live," or whatever it might be, and then the other person's like, "I have to live. I got to keep breathing." Right? Like, holy smokes! It could be that person that doesn't want to die while they're drowning that actually breathes when they come back up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. That get deep really quick. Kind of dark. Sorry.
I mean, yeah. I mean, perspective. The reason why, like, because like perspective is like an onion. It's got so many layers. It's got like
an ogre.
yeah, dude, yeah. It has so many layers. Like, I feel like, and I don't mean this personally, but like when people say perspective, it's like it's just not. It's like not really super like sophisticated way to answer a question.
I agree with you.
It's like a cop out.
It is. It's easier to say that and then leave no explanation or story. We agree. So yeah, I agree with you. But
it's still fair to answer though, because
it is a fair answer.
it is
But
fair.
if you say that, if you say, "Oh, it's just a perspective thing," then I want to be able to ask you, "Can you explain that perspective then?" And if I don't get a story or a good explanation, what we agree, and then boom, then we know it's just a cop out right there. Like, or I just don't want to talk about it. It's like, well, maybe it's waking a demon or something that they don't want to discuss. That's possible still.
I got a question for you. We're going off script here. I got a question.
Yeah, no, I'm all out of questions, so we're popping off now. Late night after hour.
Some people don't like to talk about things like generally, like in a generality. They're like, oh, that's all like we can't talk for the whole world. You know, we can't talk in general. Like I'm only can talk for me. How do you feel about that? Are you okay talking about general and in general, or do you
making general statements based off of not personal opinions or experiences?
I think you always get so abstracted. I love it. Which is good, which is definitely, it's smart, dude. It's smart. I wasn't even backing it like that.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I can hit you in one sentence. We're like, no.
How I'm starting off the question before you get super freaking high level is just like, because a lot we don't talk to much people, but a lot of people will do that. You'll be like, oh, like generally, like you'll say something general, and people are like, what? No, I can't speak for the entire world. I'm only me. I can only speak for me. You know, and they usually
that sometimes, yeah.
And they usually think they're really smart when they do that. They're like, "Oh, are you comfortable, or would you talk in generalities about things, or do you think that's not really the smart move to make?"
I think I would do it and be honest if something is a touchy topic to talk about generally. Does that make sense? Kind of.
What do you mean by that?
Taking people's feelings and emotions into consideration if it is somebody that's known to be soft.
Sensitive?
Yeah, sensitive. Yep, that's the word.
I got another way to ask this question too, and I do like your answer. Thank you. The other way is,
I'm just saying, keep people's emotions into consideration. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's a problem. No, people could talk about me generally. I think it's fair.
because now you kind of get I can see that you're kind of getting why and where I'm asking this from, even though you don't really know. Which is humans are so weird, dude. We're such interesting creatures. Like how like our bodies can just do that on their own.
Okay.
But exactly, and like, what do you think? Because and I keep bringing it up. What do you like? Do you think that's intelligent, or do you think it's like, let's say you had to choose one is more intelligent than the other? It's more intelligent to think, oh no, it's I can't do that. Who am I to speak for all 10 people in this room or whatever?
Mhm.
Or is it smarter to be able to talk about things generally? Let's say you had to choose one.
Yeah, I think the second one. It is smarter to talk about things more generally because it proves your overall surroundings knowledge, right? As far as cultural acceptances go and things of this nature.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
I read a lot of books and drink a lot of milk and eat vegetables. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. And that's just what I feel like for me personally, naturally, that's the best answer is if the more things you can talk about and know the limits and like rules or outlines to, yeah, I think the more intelligent you are, the better you are at reading a room, some people call it. I don't know. There's so many different things and ways, but yep, that's my short answer. I don't really know. I
It's I
just
know
know that's the right answer.
the human body is so interesting, man. Sometimes it just knows things. And
I agree.
I'll speak generally here for a sec, but I don't I think generally people think the other way is the smarter way.
Just being quiet and not giving their personal opinions or their outlooks on things globally.
No, they'll be happy to do that.
Oh,
But they
okay.
just need to distinguish that, like, hey, it's stupid to talk in generally about, it's stupid to talk general. Like, I'm only me. I can only talk about, what I know. And talking about stuff generally it proves you're a buffoon. Like, that's, I don't, I don't know why I feel like it's common to do it that way. But I'm pretty sure I think I might be right, which is, I
The
don't know.
second answer, right?
No, well, no, I agree with you, but I
Yeah.
think what I'm trying to say is I think I think it has to do with political correctness. Is
I
what
think so too.
Yes, I think
Yeah,
people.
but this is my point: is knowing political correctnesses in different countries or areas in the world, like worldwide, right? You're allowed to talk about, like, think about comedians that might go to different countries. You got to know their political, like, viewpoint on things. And I think the more you can go in, adapt, and blend in faster everywhere, that's the smarter you are. The ninja and the samurai used to do it, and they would go to different cities over all across Japan, right? And then you would have to blend in immediately, become a farmer and stuff like this, blending in. And the faster you could do it, the better you were. And that proved high IQ. That was back in, I don't want to miscall it, but it was the Edo period. And I want to say that was the 1700s, but might be off
Yeah,
by
see, things have changed a lot, man. They've changed a lot now, and this is all backpacked together. Now, intelligence, relatively speaking, now is based on the opposite, as in
being
now.
quiet and not having an opinion or something.
No. I'm not saying that at all.
Opinion, sorry.
Yeah, people aren't quiet. They just need to distinguish that. But anyways,
Okay.
now it's all about like breaking things apart into little pieces
Oh,
and
yeah,
totally forgetting about the whole general big picture.
I agree.
People will
Like old school philosophy, and the new school philosophy is if you can break it. Oh, don't tell me I lost you.
Hold up, you cut out. You said old school.
The differences in old school philosophy and new school philosophy is now they want to deconstruct everything that philosophers already freaking put their paintbrush on.
Yes, and then
I agree with you.
and then I'm telling you, T, people get on their high horse and act like it's stupid to talk about things in general because of that. They're like, I'm in this little pocket here.
Mhm.
I can only talk about this little pocket here, and if I start talking in general, I'm obviously going to be wrong because I'm outside of my little pocket, and I'll just sound stupid. People think it's dumb, dude. I don't get it.
Me either, buddy. That's why we read really old books.
Yeah, man, and like I don't really run across it too much because we don't just go out talking to people like all like especially
Oh,
like about deep stuff really.
yeah, I know.
But if someone were to say that, I'd be like, buddy, like in general, if you get close to a tiger, like a tiger's gonna attack you. Like it's important to like realize things generally, like talk about things generally, and to think about like big picture general stuff. Like it's all about your like your society and your social awareness. Like what's more what shows more intelligence than that? I have me. I know exactly where I fit in this group, and I'm able to like look out and watch everything else. Like it's genius.
Yes, exactly. And it goes along with erasing history and why it's such a bad thing to do. Like it's terrible. It's terrible.
You know, and that's like the thing with comedy too. It's like I can like do this, do that, and I can sprinkle in funny stuff. Like that takes a bit of like social awareness too.
Oh, absolutely. Knowing where you are and what joke you could or couldn't crack. Dude, what some countries in certain areas, man, saying a certain kind of joke might get you bad. It ain't no joke.
One last question I have for you to wrap up
Yeah.
is you said it twice, I think.
Mhm.
Do
Probably.
you, do you think people are more quiet nowadays?
Yeah, dude. I think that people walk around looking at their phone, either they're playing a game or scrolling, doom scrolling, something. Watching some videos that isn't gonna make them any smarter.
Yeah, I guess I would agree then. Yeah, I guess people probably are more quiet nowadays.
Do you really think that there's a lot of content out there right now that make people think? That make them think just about anything? Think at all. Think at all. Think about, dude, anything.
I have another question, and I'll just ask it, and then we'll end it. One philosopher said, "The only thing harder than thinking is seeing." What do you think that means, and do you agree?
I don't know because I see not very well without my glasses, but still see. You know what I'm saying? So
Do you agree
I
with
don't
it
know.
or no?
I've always been challenged sight wise in my life, so I don't know. Like I've always wondered how other people see. I've always wondered what it was like to see the world without needing glasses on my eyeballs.
Do you agree with it or no?
That the second hardest thing to thinking is looking with your eyes, seeing. Uh-oh. Where'd you go?
Yeah, you cut out again.
Your question was, I'll ask it again. Your question was the second hardest thing than thinking is to see.
No, actually, the opposite. The only thing harder than thinking is seeing.
The only thing harder than thinking is seeing.
So seeing being first.
I've always been challenged vision wise, so yeah, I would probably agree. Just because, dude, I think that there's more people that need glasses and can't see than there are people that are dumb and freaking can't think for themselves. I think that's just very common. So yeah, probably. Well, dude. And I need context on the seeing part. Seeing visually or seeing the point. You know what I mean? Like seeing as an understanding.
Now you're getting philosophical, and I won't even answer the question. We'll just leave it as it is. But it's a good philosopher who said it, and it's pretty deep, and
My answer is probably yeah.
it's got a lot of layers, buddy. It does. But I would if that's the answer that feels right to you. I also agree with it. I actually
Yeah.
think so too.
One more question before we go, actually, on my side, because I thought about this driving to work the other day. That gut feeling, people normally actually feel it in their chest or throat more than their gut, and that's why people get it confused. That's not really the question. That's just what I was thinking.
Okay.
I was just thinking that.
All right. I guess that makes sense because one
Maybe
reason why I
something-
think that makes sense
Yeah.
a lot with near the throat areas because probably a lot of time when you get that feeling, you have something to talk about.
Oh, dude, that's probably something savage. And yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think it has something to do with the airways, right? Because think about chakras.
Yep.
And yeah, something to do with the airways and the heart rate. Because if we think about vibrations and breathing and how much those two things go together, I think that old Japanese Hinduism explains that feeling and emotion better than anything else that I've studied or learned personally. Not that I follow Hinduism or anything, not saying that, but I just say I think that makes sense because that's right where, think about it, any separation between your brain and the floor can be catastrophic, right?
Okay.
We have to remain grounded right, to think correctly and all of this. And as soon as we aren't grounded anymore, or our brain isn't grounded, then electricity and electrons stop between the ground and our brain.
Yep.
So we tend to make more mistakes when we feel that way. And if it breaks right where the blood supply and the oxygen to the body would be, then you get that something isn't right feeling and fight or flight mode, as in, are my legs going to start working? And my brain stop? Like, what could happen, right? So I think that's where that gut feeling comes from, and then why. That's kind of just my thoughts on it. I don't know. My camera keeps zooming in, and it's annoying me.
I actually am going to agree again, double down on agreeing with you, because also on like a physiological way, when you have that gut feeling, it's time to act. So like your heart will start moving because your heart's getting ready to, like, your heart's pumping blood because your body's like getting ready to do something, like you said, fight or flight. So I agree. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Heck yeah, we can end
That's it on my side.
we can end it on an agreement, buddy. I love it.
Fire.
Yes, sir. Thanks for tuning in, people.
Yes, sir. This has been Skoom Speech.